Febi recommends that any diagnosis and maintenance is carried out by a fully trained vehicle technician. A wheel bearing failure is often associated with a droning or rumbling noise whilst driving, with the noise increasing under load or during cornering. As a wheel bearing is a key safety component, choosing the right replacement is an essential part of any repair. Febi has a comprehensive range of wheel bearings, from the simple single-tapered roller bearing to the compact wheel bearings that feature more peripheral functions on each generation. For example, the Generation 1 has a double-row angular ball bearing with or without a magnetic reluctor seal. Generation 2 has a double-row sealed angular ball bearing with a conventional toothed wheel or magnetic reluctor seal. Generation 3 has a double-row sealed angular ball bearing with an orbitally formed shoulder and a magnetic reluctor seal and/or sensor. The featured vehicle is fitted with a Generation 3 front wheel bearing, which had become noisy in operation and required replacing. Before starting any work, it is essential that the vehicle manufacturer's repair procedures are checked and followed, and any special tools required are obtained before replacing the wheel bearing. Firstly, the hub retaining bolt needs to be slackened, then the vehicle should be raised and the wheel removed. Inspect any surrounding parts for wear and remove the front brake assembly, ensuring the brake caliper is supported in order that there is no excess strain on the brake hose. With the brake assembly removed, the lower suspension arm needs unbolting from the swivel joint. This gives enough movement for the drive shaft to be removed from the bearing assembly. The drive shaft also requires to be supported during this repair, so no excess strain is on the inner joint. This allows access to the 4 retaining bolts, which hold the bearing assembly to the steering housing. On removal, the old bearing assembly needs to be freed from the housing with a hammer. This is due to corrosion. Once removed, the old bearing should be inspected for any inconsistent wear issues, and the new Febi bearing kit, including new bolts, prepared for fitting. This bearing has a magnetic reluctor seal for the wheel speed sensor. While handling this bearing, avoid contaminating it or damaging the magnetic seal before it is fitted. Before the new bearing is fitted, the housing requires cleaning to make sure the new part fits freely and accurately. Once the new part is fitted into the housing, the new retaining bolts are tightened to the manufacturer's specification. With the new bearing in place, the drive shaft needs to be refitted and the new hub retaining bolt initially tightened. The lower suspension arm should be reattached to the lower swivel joint and all fixings are tightened. Next, fit the brake components back into place. However, in this case, new brake disc and pads were required as the old parts were in need of replacing. This should be carried out on both sides of the vehicle. Once the steering, suspension, brake and driven components have been assembled, the road wheel can be refitted. With a second mechanic pressing on the brake pedal, tighten the hub retaining bolt, then lower the vehicle onto its wheels for a final tightening procedure. With the vehicle repaired, the car should be road tested for smoothness of operation.